Good morning and welcome to the tea break. It's been a while, but we're doing this again because Test cricket is back, and with Test cricket back, it's always fun to have this daily video reviewing what happened the day before and giving my insights on the same. So obviously, India has now come to England for a long Test series. It's a five-match series spanning over a couple of months, so this is going to be fun to review. I personally will be going for a few games as well, but let's talk about day one at Nottinghamshire and what happened there. So, India lost the toss, which was the most predictable thing that Virat Kohli would lose the toss and we were put into bowl, and England decided to bat first. What wasn't predictable, however, was the team changes that India made. So, India left out Ravichandran Ashwin. I think it was a sort of a feature of the pitch and what had happened previously at Trent Bridge, where most of the wickets are taken by medium pacers or fast bowlers, and spinners have little or pretty much no impact. But still, to leave out Ashwin was a very gutsy decision. England, on the other hand, did the same. They left out Jack Leach, who was the only player who's actually played a first class game since January. The rest of the players have really not played any red ball cricket whatsoever. So, again, a gutsy move by them, but they went with an all out pace attack. And somewhat of a revenge of what happened in India, where we had turning tracks. They put out a really nice green wicket with more than 10 millimeters of grass on it and very swinging, seeming overcast conditions. So I think it played into India's hands a little bit. So, first, let's talk about India's bowling. Top class. I mean, the intensity throughout the day in the bowling and in the field was incredible to watch. I think it was something that reminded me of the old Australian team where there was no let up from any end whatsoever. Anyone who was coming into bowl had the same intensity, was hitting the right lengths, right lines, very few loose balls to score from. A lot of runs came off the edges, and then Sam Curran in the end trying to hit a few out of the park. But other than that, the control that the Indian bowlers showed was great. Jasprit Bumrah, one bad game which happens, World Test Championship final, that's okay, but the way he bowled showed that why he is the number one bowler in the world. Why is he that truly that great? Shami played the supporting role extremely well, I thought, because of the economy rates. He controlled or held up one end extremely well, and then obviously got lucky with a few wickets, but it was a luck that he deserved over many years of bowling exceptionally good spells and tight line and lengths. The dark horse of the Indian team, the underdog Shardul Thakur, so happy for him to come in and pick up a few wickets. The first ball that he bowled, I think that set the tone for his entire spell. The first ball he bowled, I think it was to Joe Root, came in, went out, beat him all ends up, and the slip corner was like, yeah, we've got a swing bowler here, and I think that was amazing to see as well. And Siraj, first I think series in England, he'll get a bit getting used to. I mean, it's going to take some time for him to settle into a rhythm, but I think that's what you have to give. You have to give bowlers that time and that leverage to get into the team and get into the conditions quite well. And I think he's going to do that quite well as well. We saw that in Australia. I think I'm sure he's going to replicate that in the UK. England's batting, a lot has been talked about how weak their batting order is and how they can't cope well at all, and which is why they had to strengthen with Besto and Lawrence both in the side. But I think with the quality of India's bowling yesterday, it was always going to be difficult for any batting lineup to actually put up a decent score. But 180 was way below par. I think some of the wickets that fell were start stop, so the batsman got in and then got out. And in Test match cricket, that's the worst kind of dismissals that you can have. Also, the number of ducks showed that some of the batsmen really didn't want to get off the mark, and that's really disappointing to see. Especially Joss Butler was very disappointing because he came up against a top class Jasprit Bumrah spell, but as a top class batsman, you need to just hang in there. You need to try and hang in there. But he tried to then play or drive his way out of the hole, and that led to his downfall. Joe Root was very pleasing on the eye. I mean, you could see why he's one of the top four batsmen in world cricket. But again, loss of concentration due to the number of wickets that were falling around him led to his dismissal. End of the day, England are in a lot of trouble, 183. However, knowing English conditions and knowing how Test matches go in England, one session can bring them back into the test match can even get them into the ascendancy in a test match. So 183 in England looks like a really poor score, but might not really be a poor score depending on how one session goes. So if India are to play out the first session with maybe 2 or 3 wickets down and a score at 100 for 2 or 3, I think we are in the driving seat from there. But if Anderson and Broad produce what they can produce at Trent Bridge, then this match might get very interesting indeed. When it came to the India batting, I think both the batsmen looked extremely composed. They had decided not to play anything outside the off stump, which is a positive sign. And then we'll see whether they can continue that today when they come out to play. I think it's going to be fun to watch, and hopefully we can play out the day and get on top of this English team, because I think the first test always sets the tone. We win the first test, and then we can really dominate this test series. This is a very special test series because that time when you always think that you're almost there but you can't get over the line. I think we are almost a great team, but we just need to get over the line by beating England here, because then we have Australia and England in the bag, and we can focus our attention on South Africa and New Zealand as well. So I think almost there, but it's a good start to a long series. And looking at the intensity that India has in the field, I think they'll continue with their intensity, so that should not be a problem at all. So looking forward to it, and hope you are too. So I'll come back tomorrow with the day 2 review. Thanks.